WWE Royal Rumble is planned for Saudi Arabia. Seth Rollins WrestleMania plans have been revealed, and we've got the latest on The Rock's WWE return plans. Stay tuned for all the deets. So it's the most wonderful time of the year, Fraser, because we are now on the road to the Rumble, which means soon we will be on the road to WrestleMania. And everybody loves the Royal Rumble.
Oh.
It's never been in Britain for some reason, even though royal family bring it here.
We deserve one.
It's mainly, it's always just been inside North America, except for the greatest Royal Rumble, which took place in Saudi Arabia and had an asterisk next to it, but no more, because PW Insider reported that the 2026 Royal Rumble is planned to take place in Saudi Arabia, and this was corroborated by Fightful, who also reported that it's the current working plan. Their report notes that those that they've been speaking to have claimed that the host city is set to be Riyadh, and it also reveals that WWE has been working on layouts for the site in recent months, so they're kind of it's looking like it's going there.
Look, this was kind of expected for a very, very long time, and I think a lot of us expected it would be WrestleMania that would be going there.
This is it. I think when they're talking in London about potentially bringing Mania to London, and it's all looking promising, and you see them meeting the mayor and everything. Saudi Arabia surely have to be kicking off and screaming, because it's like, well, why don't we get one? We're a partner already and everything. So I think we're going to see more events take place in Saudi Arabia. Will WrestleMania ever take place there? I don't think so, but
I think
I'm
it might.
starting to think it might.
So my thought process when I saw Royal Rumble, and we've been saying this upstairs, just chatting about it in the office, but we think that the Royal Rumble is a good tester for testing markets for a big event, one of the big 4 or 5 now if you want to include Money in the Bank.
And there's going to be a lot more international interest in travel to...
Exactly that. It's one of those shows that brings people over from all over the world, and it's like, if they're going to test it, that's a good one to do and go, okay, maybe we could do a 2-night WrestleMania.
I think they're going to get to the point where they're like the F1, you know. And I think that just every major show will just take place in a different country, and it'll all be destination holiday style. Hey,
I mean, it looks like that's kind of what Royal Rumble this year is kind of partially branded Royal Rumble Indianapolis, and then it looks like, well, maybe that's not just a one-off thing. Maybe next year it will be Royal Rumble Saudi Arabia and so on. I'm not surprised. We will probably get a WrestleMania there one day. I'm just really intrigued to see how it will affect the way the card is booked, because Royal Rumble, we've still bring talent over.
We've got the Saudi Arabian rings as well, which obviously get you 2 entries into the Rumble.
Of course.
So there might be all sorts of chicanery. There might be all sorts of crazy stuff that goes on, but as more develops around this growing news, we will keep you posted. But per Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio as well, many people backstage just looking to the Rumble this year in WWE believe that Joe Hendry is set to be in the Rumble match, which I can see it.
I can 100% see it.
Like lights go out, countdown happens, and then
I believe
it hits.
in Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
You know that. Yeah, it's got to happen. He kind of teased something himself on his social media.
Yeah.
He kind of teased that he'd be busy that day doing something, but if you say his name, he'll be there. Do we see him having a big impact? Do we see him having just a quick run-in appearance? I'm really not sure, but having him there is pretty damn cool.
I hope that if Hendry is in the Rumble, he's able to get a few solid eliminations under him, rather than it just being kind of an appearance and then straight out, because...
I mean, that's what they did in NXT.
Yeah, I know, and it's sort of... I just don't know, but I think whatever they do, they'll be able to use it really well, so...
There's also a good chance, if he does appear in the Royal Rumble, with it being the 1st of February, or the 2nd of February, I should say, or 1st, 2nd, one of the dates, he could be the TNA World Champion at this point. His match at TNA Genesis is against Nick Nemeth prior to the Royal Rumble, so he could be going in, if he does appear, with that TNA World Championship.
Well, then he better get some eliminations in.
TNA, don't pass up that opportunity like you did at Bound for Glory. This is the time to put the belt on him.
Just get it done.
Just get it done.
But looking across the fence to AEW, this report coming from Fightful, AEW Trios champion Pac is currently overseas. He's back home in England, meaning that he hasn't been appearing. This is the reason he hasn't been appearing on the weekly TV. There's apparently no word on when he's planned to return to TV, but you got to imagine it'll be factored in somewhere near down the line.
You've got to
assume
central
storyline, so.
And that's what I think makes this absence a bit more weird. He's currently one of the Trios champions, and he's part of the top faction in AEW, part of the top storyline. It's a little bit strange that he's not been seen, and we don't know when he's back.
There's been no circumstances given for why he's away. It could be a family matter, it could be a personal matter. So fingers crossed for him that it's not anything serious and that he will be back on TV soon. But we've also got a major update on some WrestleMania plans, don't we?
Oh,
Fraser?
we do indeed. Love this time of the year. We get Royal Rumble discussion, we get a bit of WrestleMania discussion. Yeah. And one of the things that we've been discussing a lot is what on earth does Seth Rollins do at WrestleMania? Because we thought it's going to be CM Punk.
Yeah.
Well, not a chance. We're getting that this coming Monday. It's going to be something to do with anyone. Anyone. Surely it's CM Punk. It's not. It's going to be Gunther, apparently, according to Wrestle Purists. This could be for the World Heavyweight Championship.
It's got to be.
I can't see Gunther losing it before then. It feels kind of like a thrown together last minute match for me because of, hey, we've been building this stuff with Seth and Punk. We've got stuff with Drew in the background. And it's not been very clear where Seth is placed on that card. This makes sense, but it does feel a little bit last minute.
We know what they're capable of, though, so it should be a really solid match regardless. But you've just got to hope that, we've got a fair few months left yet to build with. So you've got to hope they're going to start maneuvering things into place soon, and we can really let the heat build in the feud. So that it's kind of one of those white hot crowd matches. I'm
intrigued as to see who actually wins this one, though, because Seth he didn't win last year at WrestleMania, and he's won the year before. But like last year, he kind of got screwed out of a big thing for him. Yeah. Like one of the night, he got the night one main event, but he was meant to be factored in a different way. Yeah. I'm intrigued to see if he beats Gunther and gets that world title back.
It'd be interesting to see how long he would hold it for, because I feel like Gunther on the warpath isn't something that you really want. But I see it as a solid match. They just got to build it right.
I would quite like to add Drew McIntyre to this personally, because he's another one like Seth right now where I don't know where he goes on that card. Maybe it's Jey Uso, maybe it's Kevin Owens, maybe it's Sami Zayn.
That just makes the match even more brutal, though. So
get Drew in there. Yeah. Give us another triple threat. I like a triple threat at WrestleMania.
And just keeping it in and around the WrestleMania talk here, obviously a big name that has been sort of will they, won't they, nobody really knows, everything's up in the air about WrestleMania. Wrestling Observer Newsletter have reported that while it hasn't been confirmed that The Rock is going to be on the Netflix premiere episode of Raw, there's a good chance that he's set to be there. Alongside this, with Cody Rhodes planned to face John Cena at WrestleMania, WWE has also taken the plans and scrapped them between Rock and Rhodes. Apparently, speaking with people at the top of WWE, they do expect The Rock to appear at WrestleMania, with some of them expecting him to wrestle, but it's not a sure thing at this point because his schedule seems to just
his schedule is packed. And it's very funny that last year his movies were doing pretty poorly, and he goes, right guys, I'm coming back for a run, and now his movies are doing pretty well again,
so
and
he's gone off a lot more.
Wrestling? Nah, I'm fine making some cash over here. It's not a sure thing that he's going to be wrestling at WrestleMania. We've known that for a little while. It seems like it's a massive uncertainty. It's very interesting, though, that this report notes that those at the top of WWE are expecting him to wrestle. Whether that's a case of them going, hey, he told us last year, come on, we're expecting
They're just expecting him to maybe show up, make an appearance, and maybe it's something more like a WrestleMania 32 where he gets involved in like a little thing on the show. True. Rather than like a full-blown match. It could just be him coming out and counting his fingers again.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Nobody knows, but Fightful have added to this report saying that The Rock isn't currently factored into WrestleMania plans, but many backstage are aware and at the mercy of his schedule should he wish to come back.
And that's the thing. It's the mercy of his schedule. If he wants to come back, he will come back. He will get the match he wants. He's one of the shareholders.
Yeah,
if
and his appearances increase the value of the stock. So.
Exactly. If he decides the day after John Cena versus Cody Rhodes is announced, The Rock wants the match against Cody Rhodes, he's getting that match against Cody Rhodes more than likely.
Yeah.
It will just be very, very intriguing to see how this plays out, whether we get another documentary about it.
Yeah.
Whether he comes back and it's another documentary about how plans change and whatnot.
Potentially.
But either way, WrestleMania this year is shaping up to be massive.
Oh, it's going to be a hell of a show.
Whether he's wrestling or not.
Yeah. But either way, if there's any more news that breaks over the course of the day, we will be back with another video. But in the meantime, stay inside. It's freezing cold out there. Have a lovely weekend. Play some Balatro and catch you in a bit.